Hi, this is Luke from Chaos, and today we're going to take a look at unboxing Nemesis Lockdown. Before we start, I think what I'd like to do is just show you what a Sundrop versus a non-Sundrop miniature will look like. I've got here is essentially the Sundrop version, but I'll do a shout out to Jace Leet. So thank you, Jace, for letting me open up your medic so that I can show the viewers here what the difference look like. So first of all, I guess I will show you what essentially a non-Sundrop version look like. So this is essentially what you get from a retail version. So hopefully that would focus. Alright. So it looks pretty standard. So the miniature from Awakened Realms. Alright, now, and then if we take a look at what you'll get if you get the Sundrop version. I actually had to Google what Sundrop was. I thought initially it was a wash, but what it seems to be is more like they did a primer. So you can see where it's quite dark and essentially black. So I'm guessing that they use a black primer, and then they essentially what I believe is dry brush that lighter grey, I would say it's grey, on top. So that will give it will make the features pop up some more, or the dark part remains quite dark. And because it's dry brushing doesn't really get into all the grooves and gaps, which is why you get that shadow effect. As I touch the miniature, it doesn't feel like there's a coating on it, but I suspect there's a coating because I can't imagine leaving it dry brush without a coating. So let me bring the other one back and we can take a look at them side by side. I'm not sure if it's focusing very well though. So you can see in the facial features you can barely make out the eyes, and you got to recognize that this is actually quite a small miniature, so you won't be able to see much from a distance anyway. But because this one is Sundrop, you can actually see the features more clearly. Show you the back. The quality of the Sundrop is, I would say, a bit average, because you got this part here looks extremely dark. I'm not sure what I really think about that at the moment, but because I'm probably not going to paint it myself, so that will have to do. Again, thank you, Jace, for letting me show the viewers your non-Sundrop version. So let's get back to the main unboxing. So to start off with, we've got the Nemesis core lockdown box. It's a Sundrop version, and the only way you can really see that as a Sundrop version is based on essentially the code at the top left. So you see that there is a S. S usually means for the Sundrop. This one you can see a stretch goal and then an S. So that's also Sundrop. We also got the placemat, the playmat, and a dice tray. That's pretty much all I got for this one. My original pledge for Nemesis Lockdown was actually everything. Well, everything except for the kings, because the king was just an alternate set for queens, and for me, I mean, it's nice, but I don't think it added too much to it, so I didn't really get the kings. And the other option was the space cats. Now, space cats was essentially an optional starter token, or starter player token, and I didn't think that was really worthwhile to get just for alternate starting tokens. So to begin with, this is Nemesis Lockdown, the core box, and as you can see, it is a standalone game. You don't need the original, obviously. You can have some crossover, so you can use the aliens on both sides. They mentioned you can use some of the characters, so I'm assuming that there's some characters you can't really use. So we'll see how that will go. And when this campaign came out, I haven't actually heard of let me cut this up properly. Haven't actually heard of Nemesis before, so I managed to find someone who was really into Nemesis, and with the pandemic, we also played it during was it? Depending, we played it from Tabletop Simulator of Steam. So after playing it once, I was convinced. I late pledged everything, and yeah, so which is quite good. And as I'm not really a miniature painter, I obviously got the Sundrop version. I saw some pics of the Sundrop that they put on, so, and it looked quite good to me, so I give that a go, and we'll see how the final I guess product will look like, because you never know what the pictures and what you actually get will be. So you got your standard rulebook. I believe for the most part it's quite similar. I'll talk a little bit about the differences later, but it's just, I guess, in terms of mechanic wise, from what I saw on the campaign, is essentially pretty much nearly the same as the original Nemesis. I've got some rule summaries here, and some what each of the room will specifically do. Won't really go through these, but in case you're interested, just let you take a glance. So in terms of the differences, sorry, this is the lab. So I guess this is where you see this very familiar weakness. So usually there are 3 weaknesses. You can see we still got the nest space, and we've got some symbols for the token. Is it right here? No. Symbols for the token, so that you can see what each of the token represent. Not 100% sure what those numbers mean now, but I'll have to take a look. So we've got, this is just the board. Yeah, I quite like Nemesis, the original game, because it obviously played like Aliens the movie, with some differences, and this one I guess will be Aliens, which is essentially the Aliens movie, where you're in a building. So our character is now Sentry, Hacker, some rooms which I won't go into. You've got the lab rat, as well as the xenobiologist, survivor, the janitor. So looks like we've got 6 characters here. I think the stretch goal had one extra, but I'll have to double check that one. More rooms. These are the tokens you will draw out of the bag, and they will represent what they will do. There's some new stuff in here. So what was it? I can't recall exactly what that launch is. I think that was that is essentially something you have to repair. That's just like the engine, potentially. I'll have to double check what that is. This is your player marker. So instead of a cat, you now have a raccoon. I think we get a mini in the stretch goal box. We can take a closer look at that afterwards. Got a lot more dials. I'm not sure, can't recall what all the dials do. And this is the rover. I think that treat like a, and there's a, I think it's like a escape pod as well. I could be wrong about that. Right. So one of the new things is it's now multi-level. So you will need an elevator, and the elevator will obviously go up and down the board to show which level you're currently on. And speaking of the board, I'll probably do this one later. It's going to be quite chunky. A cardboard film to check whether you've been infected or not. Should we see? Tells you the infection procedures, whether you got alien larva inside of you or not. You've got a standard bag for your alien tokens. Oh, what am I putting that there? Alright, let's get to the components. So we've got more red cubes in the sealed bag, some clear tokens. I believe these ones goes on your player board. We have some nice fire tokens. Probably take a look at this one. Just unlike the cube and those little clear pebbles, this one is actually new. So if you can see, there's a little groove inside. So give it a little bit of that double layer look to it, which is quite nice. Didn't obviously have to do that, but it's quite neat that they did. You got your rubber rings. You've got tokens to show whether, to get out of the bag. Token to show whether it's been broken or not, whether you need to fix up that room before you use the room. You've got these tokens. I'm not 100% sure what these are yet. I think they're there to track some things in the room, but I might have to double check what these are later. You got the standees for if you're taking the retail and you prefer standees. You've got some dice. So I never played with the original, so I don't know if the dice has improved or not. I do like that they're translucent dice. You've got some blue dice, which I'm assuming is for upgraded weapons, probably. You got the standard red dice, which I'm familiar with from essentially Tabletop Simulator. Nothing new that one. Yeah, this one's interesting. I wonder what weapon uses this. Then you've got this other dice. Not 100% sure what this is used for. And then these are essentially your noise dice. So pretty standard. Let's move on. You've got some card stands. So let's see, you can see that properly. That means they're just plastic stands. Nothing. I think it's going to focus properly. Nothing overly amazing. Yeah, it's just there to hold your cards, but I'll probably just hold my cards normally. Alright, now let's take a look at some of these character miniatures. So, this here, you can see that. This here is the Survivor. Let me grab this. So I do like that they've actually put a picture of the Survivor miniature so that it's quite clear as who you are. But that's that. And if I was to bring the medic from Jace, we can compare how the details pop in the Sundrop. I really do like the Sundrop actually. I think some of them are, like this one's pretty good. It looks like it's pretty done fairly evenly, whereas the other one had, the other medic had a lot of black spots that didn't really need to be like that. This one here is the janitor. Looks like he's holding a flamethrower, which is quite awesome actually. Yeah, and then again, comparison, side by side. And over here, we have the lab rat. So I'm not sure what she's wearing. Is it a visor? She's wearing some kind of visor. I don't think that's a gun. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's just part of the wall that she's holding on to. And yeah, so you can see she's probably in a building somewhere. And that's just part of the doorway. Again, let's do a comparison to so yeah, so it looks like the core ones look, the Sundrop look better than the medic standalone that you can buy. So who is this? This is the Sentry. It's got some kind of binoculars. Not 100% sure what weapon that is. Again, no. Yeah, no. Do you need Sundrop? Probably not. I mean, they sit down on the board, which is actually quite far away. You're not going to see much, but at the same time, I'm a sucker for nice detailed miniatures. So this one is the Hacker, and weirdly enough, this Hacker looks a little bit like an android. But you can see you've got cabling holding to essentially what is, I'm guessing, just a computer. But it would be quite cool if that was like if that looked like the sensor that you see from Aliens, where you can see all the aliens coming towards you. But maybe that's what the Sentry should have had. Yeah. Again. Alright. And then this is the xenobiologist, who is the mad scientist experimenting on all the aliens. Alright. Now some of the better ones is the aliens. Now, I like what they've done here. They gave the aliens essentially a different sunshade or different shading. So you can see that it doesn't quite match the original. So this is you as a playable character, and then the aliens are of a different color. So I'm not 100% sure what the normal one looks like, but I do like that these are clearly different, so it stands out on the board. These ones is probably like the lava from the original aliens. Well, not aliens, the original Nemesis, even though this is actually a stolen IP essentially. But this is a second version, so quite cool. Remind me of the dog alien. Oh, there was only one of that one. Interesting. And maybe this is like a full-grown adult. Got some nice wings. It's like crouching and launching for an attack. Oh, is it going to focus? Yeah. I think these are the breeders. I can't remember now. But they've got some weird pose. So you can see like this arms is kind of crossed. It's got this wide leg stance where it's leaning towards one way. So it's not, doesn't look like it's quite, it's an interesting pose. It doesn't look like it's quite attacking. I'm not 100% sure what it's doing though. But this is still a decent pose. I do like how all the poses are a bit different. Alright. So these are the bigger ones. Maybe that one I had wasn't a breeder. Nicely. How gigantic this guy is. the head reminds me a little bit of what was it? Like the kaijus. Yeah, it's in a lab in the building, so it's quite interesting to see these like wing-like webbing on them. Imagine if you've actually painted these, would be quite amazing. But I'm quite happy with my Sundrop version. Yeah, and don't ask me what these are. I haven't read the rulebook enough to recognize all their names. Right, and this guy looks like just holding on to the door frame. The door frame or just some kind of crane? You can see that face there. That's a menacing looking face. I think this is last of all the queen. So you can see her abdomen where all the egg sacs are coming. Is that eggs or are they just skulls? I think that's supposed to be eggs. She guards over her nest. Interestingly, is that it looks like she has some arms and then this giant ass claw, but they're all, oh, maybe there is two. Yeah, it's an interesting pose. I'm not sure what it's supposed to represent and why they're attached together, but still, it's awesome. We've got your usual cards. I won't really go into those, won't really spoil these. Some search, more actions. Night Stalker weakness. And items. Alright, let's take this away. And let's bring back the board. Now, this board is huge. It is, how do I do this? I always find I always do these wrong somehow. Alright, so it's like that. Yeah. A little bit too wide. Not sure if you can see that properly. So you can see it is multi-layered. So over here's the lift. That's level 1, level 2, level 3. Looks like there's some outside areas over that side. That's probably what those Land Rovers are going to be used for, which is a little bit interesting. That means you have to get out to go to another place and then come back. And on the other side, if you give me a moment. On the other side, we've essentially just got, I think this is the standard map. So, let me see. So I think this is the above ground. So level 1, and then as you slowly go down into your sub levels. Yeah. Alright. Now let me prep. Oop. How do I close this? Alright. So now we'll do the stretch goal box. So I think the stretch goal mainly gave you essentially a new alien race. I think these are called the cryptics. Not sure how if I pronounce it that correctly. little pamphlet for the stretch goals. It's telling you the content. Some, oh yeah, not cryptics. Citric? I don't know. I'm not even sure. I'm probably butchering those. Give you some additional rules about what this alien race does. Oh, interestingly enough, they gave you Void Sealer rules and Carnomorph rules. So yeah, you can play with the other expansion on here. I can't remember where's Aftermath. Maybe there is no. Maybe Aftermath is something else. So you get another Untold Stories. So this one is significant. Is it thicker? Oh, one moment. I'll be back. Alright, I'm back again. And so this is the Untold Stories 1 and 2. You see, 1 is significantly thinner, and 2 and 3 is about the same, or maybe 2 slightly thicker. How many pages is this? It does have some really nice artwork in here. This has, I think I saw 93, and 190. Okay, I believe this one has more. But anyway, so we get new Untold Stories. I'm pretty excited to go through this. It's a little bit like a comic book. Yeah, haven't actually tried the first 2 yet, because I've only played the original base game of Nemesis. We've got more cardboard tokens. Got a new lab, new type of lab. Not sure if it does anything different, but it does mention the new aliens. What's this one? Oh, that's for Carnomorphs, Citrids. And we've got some Void Sealer board. Oh, interesting. Yeah, and I wonder what it actually all does, but we'll see. This, I'm assuming, it's got something to do with the nest, because it looks very nest-like. This is some interesting token. Not sure what is there to represent yet. Some kind of spore you have to explore. And I like how these are all green, because the other one was. Yeah. And Sundrop. Yeah, I'm actually quite impressed with the Sundrop actually. This is actually, looks pretty well done. I'm assuming the normal one is going to be just plain grey. Well, that's like a weird tentacle mouth. And then just a random tentacle. Awesome. Wonder what these guys will do. Excited to find out. We have that. This looks weird. I don't even know what I'm looking at. Can't even really see a face properly. Looks like there's a kind of like a mouth bit here, but doesn't look like it has any head that obviously stands out. And the final one. Yeah, I might have to read a bit more about the backstory of what these guys do. I mean, they're interesting minis, but it's not as, I guess, as imposing as the one from the core box. And we've got our miniature, our starter miniature. Woo! Space raccoon. Unlike space cats. We've got some interestingly colored dice. Is it dice? struggling with this way more than I should. Alright. So, you see there's a 1, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. Just 1, 2, 3 and 3 blanks. Yep, 1, 2, 3 and 3 blanks. This one has 1, 2, 3 and also 3 blanks. So some special dice. Curious to know what these will be used. We've got our Rover Mini. Yep. I was wondering whether they'll leave this black or not. Looks like they did. Not sure if I like that fact that the wheels is probably too flat on the bottom bit. But I guess if you look at it from top down, it doesn't really matter, right? Right? Anyway. Got essentially a giant gate door. I'm assuming just to lead to the outside. So that's just nicely shaded. Some doors. Now the neat thing about this is that's to represent a broken door. So I'm a sucker for was it components that enhance my game, and this is awesome. I love it. I wonder if this is the same as what you get in the terrain. So if you've got just the normal one, the normal lockdown and the stretch goals, you probably don't need the terrain box. I do have one myself, but that's alright. Not going to complain about that. Got more cards. So the cards seems a little bit high. I think when I sleeve them, it's probably going to overflow this. We'll have to see what happens. Alright, and this part here is the stretch goals. Just because I can, I also bought myself a dice tray. We'll see how this goes and whether I regret not buying more than one. Because the problem with dice tray is you tend to have to like pass them around. And quite a nice artwork. Nice double stitch, a little bit like a mouse pad. And you just clip the sides together. And push it down. So now you got this tray. I think the height is quite decent. Do I have some dice? Yep. Oh, well, that was a fail. But anyway, that you can see how the dice tray will work. It's easy enough to hand to another person. Not sure if I kind of semi-regret not getting more than one. I probably should have got a few more. But anyway, that's the dice trays. Alright, next we have the Lockdown Playmat, which should be just like a board, but as a Playmat version. Also double stitch. Interestingly enough, it's not as thick as the dice tray. Let me unpop this. So let's see if you can see that. So this is the playmat and this is dice tray. So the dice tray looks like it's twice as thick as the playmat, which is interesting in itself, considering this is a double-sided playmat. So on the one side, you've got this, I believe this is your standard map. So this is the second side of the board I showed. And then you've got the other side where you actually have to go outside. It's quite neat. Alright, and this is it for the unboxing of Nemesis Lockdown. So I also have the original set of I guess Nemesis, the Voice Eaters, Aftermath, and Carnivores. If you want to see, some pictures of that, or if you want me to do an unboxing of the Sundrop version of those, let me know. But other than that, hope you guys have a great day. Hope you enjoyed the video, and have a great day. Cheers.